Have you ever walked away from an argument thinking, how did that escalate so fast? Maybe the topic was something small, dishes, chores, money, or scheduling, but the reaction felt much bigger than the situation itself. And if you've been following this series, you already know the main idea we've been exploring. Many relationship conflicts are not actually about communication skills. Hello, and welcome back to Beyond Communication. My name is Olivia. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And in this series, we're looking at something that doesn't get talked about enough, and that is that sometimes communication just isn't the root problem. It's just the most visible symptom. So the real question becomes, if communication isn't the problem, what is? In earlier videos, we talked about 5 factors that often sit underneath relationship conflict. Things like emotional flooding, attachment activation, accumulated resentment, personal triggers, or power imbalances. But understanding those ideas conceptually is one thing. The more helpful question is this: how do you identify which one might be happening in your relationship? Because if you misidentify the problem, you'll keep trying solutions that don't actually address what's going on. So in this video, I want to give you a simple way to begin recognizing what might be driving your reaction. Think of this as a self-assessment tool, not a diagnosis. Just a way to slow things down and look at what might be happening under the surface. Let's walk through the 5 factors and the questions you can ask yourself. The first factor is emotional flooding. This happens when your nervous system becomes overwhelmed during a conflict. Your heart rate increases, your breathing changes, and your brain essentially switches into threat mode. At that point, your ability to process information drops. So the question to ask yourself here is simple. Did my reaction feel immediate and physical? For example, did your chest tighten? Did your heart start racing? Did you feel the urge to shut down or escape the conversation? If the answer is yes, there's a good chance you were experiencing emotional flooding. The issue isn't what was said, it's that your nervous system is overwhelmed. So the solution in that moment isn't to communicate better, it's to pause and regulate your nervous system first. The second factor is attachment activation. This one is more emotional than physiological. When attachment is activated, the brain interprets the interaction as a threat to the relationship itself. It starts feeling like rejection or abandonment. So here's the question to ask yourself. Did this interaction suddenly make me feel insecure in the relationship? For example, thoughts like, maybe they don't care about me, maybe they're pulling away, maybe I'm not important. When attachment is activated, some become more demanding or seek reassurance. Others withdraw or shut down. It's about fear of losing connection. The third factor is accumulated resentment. This one builds slowly over time. Sometimes unresolved frustrations from the past are influencing how the current conversation feels. It's not just about the present issue. So ask yourself, does this issue feel bigger because of things that happened before? Maybe you've had the same conversation many times. Disappointments that were never fully addressed make the current disagreement feel like the final straw. That's when conversations start to feel less like problem solving and more like scorekeeping. The fourth factor involves personal triggers or unresolved experiences from the past. Something much older is being activated. Criticism might remind you of how you were spoken to growing up. Your brain blends the past and present together. So the question to ask is, did my reaction feel familiar, like I've felt this way before, even outside this relationship? If intensity seems disproportionate, an older experience is influencing you. It's less about your partner's words and more about the meaning attached to them. The fifth factor involves power or fairness dynamics. Sometimes conflict isn't just emotional, sometimes it's structural. If one partner feels unheard or responsible for more of the load, frustration can build over time. It's about the dynamic itself being unfair. So the question here is, do I feel like the relationship dynamic itself is unfair? This might show up as feeling your needs always come second. Disagreements escalate because they represent something bigger than the immediate topic. Many relationship conflicts are driven by processes that have very little to do with words. This is why communication skills alone don't always solve the problem. If the other person is flooded, carries resentment, or feels rejected, even a calm message will still feel threatening. Next time a conversation escalates, try asking, did my body react? Did I feel insecure? Is this about the past? Is it a personal trigger or is it about fairness? You don't have to answer perfectly, but simply slowing down long enough to ask them can change how you understand what's happening. Once you identify the process underneath, you can start addressing the real issue instead of just the surface argument. That shift alone can change everything. If you found this helpful, in the next video, we'll talk about what to do in real time when you notice one of these patterns showing up. Recognition is just the first step. Learning how to respond differently is the next. I'll see you there.